The Sleepers of Pensokes Entrance. Michael Andrews hadn't slept properly in 2 days. After quitting his job and breaking up with his fiancée, he decided to take a long, soul-searching bus trip across the country. It wasn't planned, he simply boarded the next available Greyhound bus heading north. The bus rattled as it pulled off the narrow country road into a small station surrounded by trees. The sign, barely lit, read, "Entrance Pensokes." The town looked like a graveyard for forgotten things, broken fences, boarded-up windows, and flickering lamps. There wasn't even a gas station. Michael stirred awake when the bus stopped. Most passengers remained asleep. Their heads rested on windows or slumped forward unnaturally. Michael rubbed his eyes. He couldn't remember falling asleep, but his head was pounding. "Ladies and gentlemen," the driver announced flatly, 20-minute stop. "Stretch your legs." Michael stepped off. The air was cold, unnaturally cold. He zipped up his jacket and glanced around. The driver walked into the shadows of the nearby station and didn't return. Michael lit a cigarette and leaned against the side of the bus. That's when he noticed, no one else had gotten off. Not a single soul. Dozens of people still sat perfectly still, too still. He climbed back in. "Hey. Sir," he said to an older man in a beige coat. No response. The man's eyes were open, but unfocused. His chest wasn't moving. Michael touched his neck, no pulse. Panic gripped him. He went to the driver's seat, empty. The bus engine was still running, lights on, but there was no sign of the driver. He ran outside again, yelling into the darkness. "Hello? Is anyone here?" Only silence answered him. He entered the station. The interior was older than time. A thick smell of mildew. Peeling paint. Spiderwebs. Everything was coated in dust, except for a single, glowing vending machine. He approached it slowly. The lights inside the machine flickered erratically. Something moved past him. Michael turned sharply. At the far corner, beside a shattered ticket counter, stood a man in a faded conductor's uniform, motionless. Michael approached. "Sir. Please, I need help. There's something wrong with the passengers." "They're not." The conductor opened his mouth slowly. "They never left," he said hoarsely. "They're still here. Dreaming." Michael stepped back. "What do you mean?" The conductor's eyes rolled back. "If you sleep here, they come. They enter your dreams. And feed." "Who are they?" Michael asked, voice trembling. The conductor didn't reply. His face locked in a wide, horrific grin. Then he crumpled to the floor like a puppet cut from strings. Suddenly, every light in the station blinked off. Outside the window, shadows twisted between the trees, tall, thin shapes with faces like screaming skulls. Michael bolted back to the bus. He tried to restart it. Nothing. A low, humming sound began to rise all around. The air itself grew heavy, pressing down on him. His eyelids became unbearably heavy. He screamed. Slapped himself. Punched the dashboard. Do not sleep, and yet. The moment he closed his eyes for even a second, he was no longer on the bus. He stood in the middle of the forest. Behind him, the passengers, dozens of them, stood in a wide circle. Their faces blank. All staring at him. Eyes white. Smiling. "You're one of us now," a voice whispered in his head. Then darkness. Michael was found walking barefoot along a highway, muttering incoherently. He was taken to St. Maron's Hospital, where he spent 3 days unconscious. When he woke, he told the doctors about the bus, the passengers, the conductor, the monsters. The doctors thought it was trauma-induced psychosis, but the nurses said something strange. He talked in his sleep. Whispered names of the bus passengers. Names no one knew. Names of people who had been missing for years. Michael refused to sleep at night. Every time he closed his eyes, he returned to that forest. The passengers stared, and each time, one of them was a little closer.